Hello, hello, and we say good day to each and every one of you at this moment of your time. We, as the Pleiadian Council, speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and on behalf of many of your own guides and guardians, supporting you in this process. Some of you call ascension. We simply see as your own evolution as a species and as individuals into a higher frequency of consciousness. We first of all begin by thanking you for allowing us to co-create this interaction, for it is a gift to us as well. In the same way that we support you with the reflections we offer you, you reflect to us higher aspects of reality and support us in getting to experience more of all that is in this particular universe. And so we are very grateful and we extend our thanks to you. Today we would like to support you in whatever ways you're interested in, though we will open with a brief message, if that is all right. So, we, yes sir, Pleiadian beings, we have existed for many hundreds and thousands of years, if not millions of years. Our ancestors existed and lived in the star cluster you call the Pleiades. We have visited your planet before, and we have supported certain stages of your evolution. We've taken a step back in recognizing that humanity had to learn and grow and experience many lessons for yourselves. In the past, we've interfered a lot, and we've learned that it is better if you come to experience transformation in your own way, though we can support you energetically and with channeling and allowing each and every one of you to receive our energy and our messages. However, there is a great shift taking place in your world. It may seem as if some things are haywire, though that's simply because there is an influx of new light codes, some of you call them. You are moving into a new time in your history that will be pivotal. And so the old limiting beliefs that you hold at a societal and at a personal level become, in the moment, more constrictive. It's as if you've been sleeping on a web of vines, but you grow wings and you start to fly suddenly. However, the vines grab onto your ankles and you have to do some work to untangle yourselves before you really get up and reach the heavens. Your planet is a heaven. We don't want you to entertain this concept anymore of a division between the good and the bad, for they always come together. And one of the greatest challenges you face in your world now is the divided mind that puts things into boxes and sees things as binaries rather than understands the spectrum of experience and the blending of many frequencies in one being, in one soul, in one planet. You are all made of light and dark. And the dark is simply the place where the presence of something blocks light from flowing. It is not that there is really an absence of light. It is simply that the amount of light is limited in going into some places. But it has to be that way in order for there to be a structure. The structure creates form, yet that form prevents some light from flowing into certain areas. So all you really need to do to break down some shadow is to break down the forms that no longer serve. These forms are mental. They are the voices in your head that direct you. Some of you have learned how to tap into voices of your own higher guides and guardians who in moments seem to battle with the voices of your own thoughts. You can learn the difference between those voices that come from the higher guidance and the voice of your own limited negative beliefs. And doing so will bring about the greatest monumental shift in your life. Listening to your higher guidance is as simple as following your heart. Follow your heart. Some of you in your world find this phrase trite, cliche, or redundant, though it is actually the most profound message you'll ever receive. If you actually applied it, your entire life would change. And many of you here know this. Your heart has brought you to this moment today where you're here with us. So thank your heart. We offer to your world this formula. We're not the only ones to offer it, so we don't take credit for it, though we endorse it. The formula is act upon your highest passion to the best of your ability with zero insistence on a particular outcome. You can replace that word passion with many other words. They all point to the same frequency. You can use love, joy, bliss, excitement. All of these words, and passion, all are very fitting. The core here is that you tap into your heart center. And you note that here and now, there are many pathways before you. These can be subtle pathways, or they can be very solid pathways. Whatever thought, action, or focus you choose is a pathway. Out of all of the pathways, which one has the highest frequency? You know this through feeling. Which pathway brings you to feel a warmth, a tingling, an opening, a tremor, a shaking? You'll feel it there in the core of your being. And it will oftentimes rub up against the belief systems that create constrictive energies in your body. You might feel this warmth, you might feel this tingling, you might feel this expansion, and simultaneously feel as if there's a net or wall, attempting to hold it back. To deconstruct it, simply bring awareness to it. Is there a holding pattern? Is there something preventing me from letting this joy completely overtake me? All of you can be completely overtaken with joy. You can live your life in this high frequency, and it is also contagious. If you choose that, others around you will be invited to choose it too. To act upon your passion to the best of your ability means that you acknowledge that you have abundant resources and you have many abilities. It also means, some of you say the simple phrase, don't give up. When you fall down, get back. Though most of you understand that. What you sometimes fail to understand is how many resources are available to you. You live in a time where there's so much information out there. And you live in a time in which there's so many people with so many talents. You are co-creating your own highest passion. And in order to do that, you have to open yourself up to everything that is out there. Seek what you need and recognize you are deserving of it. That is one of the other greatest lies that so many of you have fallen into accepting. The notion that you somehow could not deserve what you want or need. You came in deserving. You were born deserving. And as you step into a radical pathway of owning that you deserve everything you could imagine wanting, your world will shift and break the paradigm of the few limiting the many by influencing thoughts and beliefs. There's so much chaos out there in your world, and it all takes place at this mental level. There are subtle strings that are pulled, messages that are sent out to all the screens, and minds receive it and start to share it. Yet you have the same power to receive a message from a higher place of freedom, embody it, and spread it. There is manipulation. And it's taking place on many other planets too. Though your world is on the verge of freedom, if you so choose to be an ambassador for that freedom. The first one you must free is yourself. And the pathway to freedom is your heart. Heart contains art. And art without heart is not art at all. Sometimes those who attempt to influence your world use images or films that aren't truly based in the heart to also transmit that message to you. And you are the remedy. By being in your heart, you are art. Some of you don't recognize the depth of your creativity. You are art. Every day you create yourself anew by the choices you make. Every day you create the movie of your life. Every day you create the story of your life with the words that you speak. Every day you choose what you want the world to see and what you want the world to value by what you wear, how you show up, how you hold yourself. If you listen to your heart about both what you want to do the most and how you want to do it the most, you'll start to understand that a heartful way is an artful way, and there is no one who is not an artist. You are the creators, you are the weavers of the web of life. And finally, the last part of the formula again is let go of all insistence on particular outcomes. And this is easiest to do when you recognize the purpose of your being is to embody the universe's core intention of unconditional love in form. You may have been told that you are supposed to manifest this and that, to prove this and that, to present this and that. Yet, all you are really here to do is be an embodiment of unconditional love. And that is why your heart is the gateway through which all of this takes place. To have unconditional love for yourself means to let go of the need to prove anything to anyone but yourself. There is no more proving. There is only being when it comes to this path of the quickest evolution with the least amount of resistance. Letting go of all insistence on an outcome means accept whatever happens and recognize when you don't get what you set out for, you are receiving a valuable lesson that will support you in doing things differently next time. You are all here to learn and grow. And the lessons that help you do things a little bit differently will be crucial for those who follow you. And the world that is to come is far beyond what some of you imagine. Those who are yet to come will naturally embody much higher frequencies and will follow your example, should you set it here and now today. Be open because your world is changing. And be powerful because you are the ones changing it. There is really nothing to fear. And some of you today will feel that. Some of you today will get a taste of what it means to look at the fear that exists within you and see through it. You'll seal it as a translucent film that burns away, and beneath it there will be reality. It will feel like coming home. And you can experience this burning of the film day after day, layer after layer of distortion can clear. This will bring you into communion with your soul family. Here and now today you are with soul family. In fact, you always are. Though some connections help you remember that much easier, some connections show to you a mirror image of yourself. Recognize you need each other in these times. You need each other as mirrors and amplifiers of the love within you. And as more of you come together, embodying these higher frequency energies, you will set the stage of a true new normal that is empowered embodied love. All right. We thank you for opening yourselves to receive this message. And now we would ask, in which ways can we support you with your inquiries, questions, musings, and sharings whenever you would like? Yes, we're most welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to meet you, the Pleiadian Council. And I have a big question because I'm on one side, I really want to live traveling and therefore find a way to become financial free, to be able to do that because I love traveling. And at the other side, I've been told so many times by you and by my spirit guides that I'm here to be a part of this new era and how to shift into it. And I don't know how to combine having time and freedom to travel and live my life as I really wanted by my heart, and at the same time be able to serve as many people. And who am I supposed to serve and how? Because the 3D marketing online is quite a complex
Yes.
move. So how, and also how can we innovate the marketing to be able to reach the people that really has that connection, waking up, that I can help and serve.
As you are guiding people to wake up through example, the example you need to set is somebody who is an example of somebody who listens to their heart and honors their passion and does what is most exciting to them. So what you would ask yourself then is, who am I most excited to serve? You might have an idea of who you ought to serve according to who needs help. That might overlap with who you are excited to serve, but you might also be tricking yourself into thinking your audience is someone other than who you really want to connect with.
But all these messages I keep getting, and I'm kind of pushed along my way to go travel.
Yes.
But at the same time, as being an alone mom, I need to get food on the table, and I have a hard time be living that more 5D way of living and building the bridge from the 3D. How to do that?
Step by step, yes. And recognize that everything you need is there in the moment. So there can be some programming to create a false sense of scarcity, looking to future moments that are outside of the here and now. When you come into the now and recognize, I have everything I need here and now today, you can train yourself to keep that focus, keep an open heart, while continuing to strive to obtain more, doing it from a place of love and abundance rather than a place of fear and worry about what might come to be. In terms of how this connects with traveling, well, you might consider that if you get up on the move, you'll find places that are actually more affordable. When you ignite your heart's passion, you'll be a more attractive energy to pull in the sorts of clients that would support you in doing what you want to do. So break down all of the illusions of separation and come to see that whatever lights you up the most is exactly the example you need to set in the world, and also the example you need to set for your children. Help them to understand that the heart is the priority, and the resources will be there when you choose to honor the heart.
Good. I'm on my way then.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, great. Thanks to you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Maybe I need some translate. I moved to an island and I get a beautiful place where I stay in a house. And I really wish to share this place with other women. Maybe in the future also with men, but I have some issue with men. Something is not imbalanced. I am a little bit afraid also of my own masculinity. And then I get the idea to offer my service for donation because I get so many things in my life and I have another work where I get my money for living. But on one place, a voice said this is maybe too early to work with donation. When some people get some message, maybe they lay down and think about what I have to give, then they cannot relax. And on the other way, it's difficult for me to see this. It's cost so much, and the food is so much, and I have something with this money.
Well, it isn't as much about money as it is about owning your own worth. Regardless of where you're at on your path, you have value. You have inherent value. All of you have inherent value. But part of the way you've been tricked is by thinking that you have to earn your value when value cannot be earned. Value is your intrinsic nature. So, regardless of where you're at with your skills, your time has value, and the exchange of energy is important. You don't have to have a big exchange, but for somebody to take from you or receive from you without giving anything back at all doesn't honor the natural balance of the universe, which is about exchange of energy. Sometimes you can give totally unconditionally without insisting on receiving, and yes, the universe gives back to you in other ways. This is good when your heart calls you to it. However, you are being called to honor the importance of exchange. So it can start as a small donation. You can put it in their hands. You can let them determine the value and play with what it feels like to be valued in a certain way and what it feels like to receive. With time, you'll experience that your gifts are deeply powerful, and you'll experience them growing and expanding. And people will be able to appreciate your gifts much more when you state clearly that they are valuable.
Thank you. Maybe my friend can help me to understand 100%.
Oh, yes, we think so.
Thank you so much.
Oh, our thanks to you as well.
I would so much love to have a greeting from you.
Hello, yes.
I'm a little bit in fear of connecting.
Why?
Also, yeah, I have some fear in me and have some time where I feel that I have so much in me and I'm not living it. And I know a little bit like all the things, but my feelings are still like I have kind of feeling a little bit depressed that I feel I have a lot of in me and I have not followed it, and I'm 69 now. so so but the first thing right now is I'm happy just to say hello. To
Hello,
you,
yes.
and maybe to get some sharing, and the first sharing you had, it gives so many answers to me. So maybe I don't need any more, but still I'm in this personal feeling that I'm happy that I'm saying hello to you.
Oh,
maybe
we are very happy to say hello to you as well.
maybe you have something to me about the state I'm in, if you can see it. I think I put so many things in my life just to fill out space instead of really being proactive and feeling this is my passion and going for it. Then I feel
No, you're simply judging yourself.
yeah, I judge and have this.
That's all that's happening right now. You've made many choices. You've lived from the heart, though you have a different idea of what that means. So, if you feel as if you could have done better, then honor that as a lesson to see how you can do better now. What do you feel passionate about that you are not acting upon right now?
Yes. Yes.
Is there anything there that you feel passion for that you're not bringing into your life?
Think about music and sound.
Yes.
And also being alive.
Well, you're always alive, and that's
Yes.
a wonderful thing to be excited about. Excitement doesn't have to be that complicated. Passion does not have to be that complicated. You can be passionate about taking a walk in the park. That can be your highest passion.
Yeah.
And if music and sound feel like a potential missing component, then bring them into your life. It can be as simple as making sure that you sing a song every time you shower and as you cook your food. It can be as simple as co-creating some musical connections with your friends. The simple things lead to the bigger things. When you fill the space with things you're passionate about again and again, you will develop that as a habit. And when there's bigger spaces to be filled, you'll fill it with bigger things. Though you have to start with the small spaces first.
Thank you.
Our thanks to you as well.
I have some questions.
All right, yes.
Well, I always felt I had a strong connection with the Pleiadians.
Yes.
Since I've heard about you.
Yes.
So can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yes.
What's my connection?
You also have connections to both past and future lifetimes in the Pleiades. You played a role, or rather, when we say you in these contexts, we want to first specify that you are the being you are now, and these soul aspect connections are parts of your oversoul that allows energy to come in between distinct incarnations to blend themes and to allow both souls to learn and integrate lessons. So it is not literally you, but it is an aspect of your own oversoul. So your connections are about healing art. Art is healing and healing is art. It is an art and a craft to be able to offer healing, and all art that you create is an act of healing. In some of the Pleiadian times, you have supported members of the Pleiadian community with healing gifts and also with creative gifts. These include music and using crystals to channel light and sound. And some of these gifts manifest into this lifetime. And as you develop them and you call upon your Pleiadian counterparts, they can amplify your abilities and your healing processes.
Hmm. Thanks for that.
Oh, yes.
I have another question.
Yes.
At the moment, my life has been very, there's a lot of suffering, and it's a difficult time with this transition from one gender expression to another. And I'm experiencing a lot of abandonment and fear of being too much. And what's your view on that? How can I heal that? How can I deal with that?
Allow yourself to be with the feelings of loss while simultaneously not letting go of the deep connections that are there. You will find that acceptance does not come from everyone in your life, though acceptance and love comes from many other sources. So in this transition, it is a rebirth of self in many ways, and a very important way is a rebirth into new communities. It ungrounds your sense of belonging when people are not able to hold that unconditional love for you. Though it does not mean that you are not at your core made of unconditional love. And there are many who have that unconditional love for you. So strengthening your bonds with those and not seeking to change people's minds. Accept that they are limited by their own fear. And it is their fear that causes them to not be available for you in the ways that you need. Recognize that your needs can be met by many. And if people bring you an energy that is less than love, create a boundary so as to protect yourself until you are strong enough to accept the negative energies that may be projected upon you. Over time, you will develop a greater sense of connection with Source and with unconditional love, and you can create a shield when you encounter these people, recognizing that it is not personal. They are simply trapped by their fear.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Yes, Howard, thanks to you as well.
I have a question.
Yes,
I'm not really sure exactly what the question is.
that's all right.
For a while, in my work and in my life, like I feel very much that my purpose of being here is my work and working with healing and supporting people in their healing. And I have so much inspiration and so many things I want to do, and it's a little bit it's hard for me to really move forward and to create. I feel like I end up dispersing my energies. I go into one thing and then to another, and then my own personal healing journey trips me up and I have a burnout. And I don't know, can you just speak a little bit about what's going on and maybe offer some guidance?
When you say you come to a burnout, what usually accompanies that? Or what is the trigger for it?
Well, I think I've had a lot of intense inner pressure of not feeling like this. Just being that you speak of is, I'm coming to understand that slowing down and just being myself and connecting more with nature is the way to live. And I haven't really done that in the past, so I've been pushing myself a lot and feeling really guilty and like I should be doing more. And I think that's been the source of my burnout.
Yes.
And I'm very sensitive, so I have a hard time accepting that I need to take a lot of time to just be still.
Yes.
And I compare myself a lot to the external and feel like I should be doing more.
So get to encounter these beliefs within yourself that hold you to higher standards than are really necessary for any being to hold themselves to. this is something that your society and your family has taught you, that you need to be on top of things all the time, when really the process is a lot more nonlinear. So understand that when you scatter your energy seemingly into many different creative projects, every every time you create, you're still expanding your own creative power. And that expansion of creative power comes with you into everything you do. But if you judge the process and don't embrace with gratitude your own expenditure of energy and your own creative output because it has not received the final touch or gotten praise from others, you will hold yourself back. There are some people in your life that cast a judging eye on you that you internalize. So it is important to hold a mirror to them. Recognize again that the same criticism that they view you with is the criticism that they have internalized, and it is a battle that they have with themselves that they are projecting upon you. You can let them have that criticism while learning how to celebrate yourself regardless of how much you do. So, celebrating the progress that comes with a day spent doing nothing in nature will help you recognize that you are enough and you've always been enough. And there's no need to meet any external standards of accomplishment. As long as you are in your heart space and in your joy and in connection with the greater sense of this universe and this planet, you are a great success.
I think there's just such a drive inside to want to show up for people and to feel like I have an impact and I can help others, and I feel like so much of my energy is just my own process.
Though that process is a great source of inspiration. And as you take greater and greater steps on the process, you will find that when you reach a point of integration, it will allow for more creative energy to flow. Your process is part of how you show up for others. You cannot guide someone to reach levels of healing that you have not yet reached within yourself. So, what you can help people with is everything you've already helped yourself with. And in order to help people reach higher levels, you have to enjoy reaching those higher levels yourself. Do you feel what we were saying?
Yeah.
So embrace the process and know that everything you do is of great value to others. And you might not see the results in the moment, but that's why having no insistence on the outcome is one of the biggest keys in the formula. Because if you insist that everything you do has to have that impact, you don't see the impact that what you're doing is having on you. Oh, well, thanks to you. Yes, something more? All right. All right, thanks to you. Yes.
I would like to ask a question.
Yes.
Hello. I'm interested, very curious, if you could tell me something about what is going on in my spine.
It is an activation of Kundalini energy. This is dormant psychic energy that is creating openings of subtle energetic channels. It is natural. It can be uncomfortable because there are sometimes stuck energies in chakras or sometimes lodged between vertebrae. And as this energy comes to life, it brings you to feel what is beneath the surface. Know that there's nothing really to do. All you have to do is surrender and allow yourself to feel what's taking place and not resist those emotions or those sensations. Sometimes this energy can bring about literal physical pain, though that is also part of the healing process.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Now, in order to have more of a sense of, we wouldn't say control, but you can direct this energy, the biggest thing to do is focus on your breath and your posture.
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing that.
Yes, you are. We're simply reminding you.
Yes, thank you.
You don't have to do more than what you're doing.
Great.
You have a higher guidance supporting you.
Yes. Could you talk a little bit about the inner child as a gateway to infinity?
The inner child has known infinity. In other words, the inner child, or rather children, let's say it this way, children know how to follow the formula to some extent. They at least know the first two parts. They do have great degrees of insistence sometimes, but nonetheless, they let themselves do whatever they're passionate about doing. Though the inner child, or rather children, get fragmented and suppress that creative energy within them when they learn negative beliefs about their creativity and about their desires and about their passion. And they learn basically the codes of conduct in society. So when you decondition yourself and recognize that many of the things that most people assume are necessary ways of being are actually learned conditions and are not fundamentally necessary, you will free yourself from these limiting beliefs and you will become not necessarily childlike, though any wound that happened in your childhood will heal, and that natural childlike wonder and inclination towards spontaneous creativity will be restored. And again, that is a key part of the formula. And when you follow the formula, naturally your energy will raise. And when your energy raises, you will return into a greater state of source connection. And source is infinity.
I didn't catch up on all the words, but I feel like the energy really resonated with me.
All right.
Because often there's so many thoughts, can't keep up with all the information.
Yes, you are all receiving this on subtle levels as well. So sometimes the words might go over your head, but you can feel
Yes.
the core of what is being communicated and expressed.
That is all. Thank you.
All right, then.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes?
As I mentioned earlier, I was thinking of leaving Denmark with a like one-way ticket, with no plans of coming back in the near future.
All right.
Yeah, what would that bring? Have you any idea of that? What challenges? Is there anything I should pay attention to or expect, or do you have anything to say about that?
Well, follow your highest passion. Go to where you're most guided to go. The challenges will, of course, be based mostly in insistences on particular outcomes. If you don't know where you're going, ask yourself, what do you want to experience more than anything else? Is it community? Is it learning something else? Is it a particular natural landscape or environment? Is it a particular way of life? Get in touch with the most important things and figure out many different potential places, and maybe it becomes an elaborate travel, or maybe it becomes one particular destination that calls to you the most. Let yourself surrender to it and open yourself to whatever happens.
Okay, I have another question. Once with this kid that you mentioned too, he mentioned I was in the presence of a very old guiding spirit, many hundred years old. Would you have any idea of who that might be? I've tried many times to contact, but I'm not really having any success.
An old guiding spirit, yes? This is somewhat of a druid or magician that comes from lands like these. It's connected to reading the signs, reading the synchronicities, reading subtle messages. So there's an ability within you to tap into subtle hints and cues from the universe that will be messages of greater significance for yourself or for others. If you don't already work with something like tarot or runes or some sort of divination of this nature, we suggest that you do it and ask your guide to be present with you in those experiences, as this will help you tap into the awareness that you're always in communication with the universe in the form of the world around you, guiding you with subtle cues and symbols.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yes, sir, thanks to you.
I have a question.
Yes?
Am I supposed to be helping the Galactic Alliance with anything? I know we all have generic things we help with, but is there anything I'm specifically supposed to do?
Whatever excites you the most.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Yes. Because again, by doing what excites you the most and by being in the frequency of love, you are supporting your entire planet and the Galactic Alliance.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you.
I have two more small questions, but I'm afraid to ask. I'm afraid of being too much.
All right, well, there's no real too much.
Okay. First one is in relationship to money. In the situation right now, because my head says that it can get better.
Yes,
My
it can.
feelings feels like it's hopeless, and and I need quite a lot of money to get some operations, so I'll get more happy and less dysphoric. And I don't know what the Pleiadian says about that, but I'm curious.
Open yourself to a more non-linear perspective. If you embrace that it will happen when it needs to happen, you will experience more acceptance in the journey of becoming. Also open yourself to the potential that there are other ways of receiving the money than you are limiting yourself to. You don't necessarily have to earn the money if you already deserve it. And as we've said earlier, when you shift your focus and recognize that your value is innate and you innately deserve what you need and want, you will be in a different vibrational state that will make you more receptive to the different potential ways of receiving.
That makes sense.
That's why we said it.
Yeah. The other question is about finding love.
Yes.
I get so triggered when I'm attracted to someone, and there seems to just be so much right now going on, but at the same time, I feel that there's a lot of potential for healing in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're not attracted that you're not triggered that you are attracted. You're triggered about what you believe about the relation. So, question, what do you believe about your own relation to that other person?
I'm afraid there's past trauma.
Yes. So, it might indicate that it is important to process what has happened, to tell the stories again in new ways, to get in touch with the emotions and create spaces where you can feel them to release them and start to focus on new stories and beliefs about yourself. And know that being triggered by love is part of the process. And every time your heart feels that old pain, you release more of it. So know that you will have to feel everything that is there. So don't use tactics to suppress that pain. create a space to welcome it, knowing that eventually it will all have to be felt. And if you have a great degree of self-compassion and establish greater contact with those who have great degrees of compassion, it will heal in a more accelerated way.
That makes sense.
That is why we said it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, great thanks to you as well.
Ask a question.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm in this great transition, moving soon to a new country, letting go of my stuff, and at the same time, my body is speaking very loud. So many issues with the shoulder and the digestion and the neck and the back and the jaws and my teeth and so much going on. I can sense how it's all related with shedding old stories and layers that are holding me back for being in my power. Can you say a bit more about that?
Yes. Many of these pains are connected with fear and beliefs in incapability. So if you see the pain as blockage to the ability to do certain things, you can start to connect with where do you still hold on to beliefs about what you are capable of and not capable of. It's a matter of gradually shifting your attitudes and challenging yourself to do things that might be very uncomfortable. Just as you face certain levels of nervousness and choose to do it anyway, you will find that there are many challenges that will present themselves to you on this path and will invite you to be able to do what feels most aligned in your heart, both in spite of fear and in spite of pain. This will be challenging, but it will also be liberating. Simultaneously, you might find you also need to challenge your own beliefs about opening yourself to receive help and support. Some of this physical pain is the result of not allowing in enough love. And you'll find that simple and subtle touch and energy movement can actually be a lot more impactful than you think if you really allow in a deeper level of support and allow yourself to be touched by others.
So just reaching out to friends to receive healing.
Yes. Though also really receive the healing, really open yourself to receive. Recognize again that you deserve it and let it go to deeper and deeper levels. You only take what you believe you deserve. And so sometimes when you have received, you've only taken in part of the energy.
Could you say a bit more specific about my jaws? It's like, I think it has been going on all my life, but I really connect right now with how much extreme tension there is. And
Yes.
it's affecting my teeth, and it's quite extreme.
What are you afraid to say?
Putting boundaries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel how much tension that creates?
Mm-hmm.
To let people do things that make you uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you expect your body to relax when you are tolerating how uncomfortable you are?
And so that's the key to release the deep
Yes.
tension.
It's both honoring your boundaries and recognizing there are many other things that you would like to say. The jaw is all about what you speak and what you consume. So in this case, it's mostly about things that are unspoken getting caught in the throat center.
And I guess visiting my parents soon would be a good way to exercise this.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And one more thing about dragon connection.
Yes.
How to connect even more and receive the gift of this connection.
Have you connected with the dragon as a subtle current that is already within your body?
I'm beginning to.
Play with this understanding. You're
Because-
not separate from the dragon. The dragon is already within you. So instead of seeing the dragon as outside of you, feel the dragon as a force that awakens within your spine. Now, as well, recognize that this image of a dragon is a symbol. The dragon is much bigger than the image you see. The dragon is multidimensional and all-encompassing. It is a force that is beyond physical reality, and it represents fierce awakening. It also represents a bridge between this reality and other realities. So riding this dragon is channeling this energy through your body and choosing to both be present in this reality, but also transcend into higher states of total unconditional love. And as well, beyond unconditional love alone, into multidimensional phenomena in which psychic gifts awaken. The dragon within you wants to break down the walls that are preventing you to hear all of the messages that are attempting to come to you.
Oh yeah, thank you. This makes sense because I'm not so visual, and I try to hold on this vision of the dragon beside me, and yeah, it feels much.
The dragon is not beside you, it is within you.
Yes.
You are the dragon.
So it's not that it's my guide. It's just, is it an aspect of my?
Well, yes, guides are also an aspect of your soul. So they present themselves outside of you, though they can also present themselves within you. At a higher level, you are one with them. If you were not one with them, they would not be presenting themselves to you to meet you. So the answer is both yes, you are the dragon, and yes, the dragon is a force that sometimes appears outside of you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you.
I have a question.
Yes.
First, thank you for the formula and what you said about heart and art. I have, for 2 years ago, I said, now I want to live like an artist, and I will, and something in me stops me from that. I think I'm the one who made kind of isolation around myself, not allowing myself to do what I can do, and I don't understand it. Can you say something about that?
What do you believe that prevents you from doing what you want to do?
What do I believe in? Some kind of, I don't think it's fear, it's like some kind of stagnation or.
Yes.
Yes.
So, do you believe that your artistic and creative expression has intrinsic value?
No, not really.
Yes. So, understand that everybody does exactly what they believe to be to their own benefit. And if you want to do something, but you find that you get caught in automatic loops and don't do it, you must recognize that you don't actually believe that what you want has value and is important. So you have to focus with your mind and get very specific and look at the ways that your creative energy is deeply important and does have intrinsic value. Understand that when you step into a creative mode, energy flows within you more. When you step into a creative mode, you get out of the habitual thought patterns and you break routines that aren't for your highest benefit. When you step into the creative mode, the hemispheres of your brain connect and you surrender to a flow. Creativity has intrinsic value because it is the process of transformation. Creativity is the process through which the entire universe is attempting to expand through each and every conscious and seeming unconscious component of all that is.
Thank you.
And so create simply for the sake of being present with creative energy, knowing that it is creative energy that is healing you and will heal many.
Is there someone special who I can connect with who can help me in that process?
Yes, there is an Egyptian deity known as Ra. This being would be particularly useful for you to connect with. There's also an Egyptian being known as Hathor. This would be a being that you would want to connect with and invoke. You can connect with the same sorts of incarnations in other mythologies. However, for your specific purpose at this time, we would suggest that you meet those beings, as they have certain levels of information and a certain type of vibration that will be useful for your purposes now.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
Now I have a question.
Yes.
I have a favorite spot in nature.
Yes.
I was thinking if you could say something about this spot.
Every place in the world has its own spirits. As every rock is conscious, every tree is conscious, every twig is conscious, and they create their own little communities and clusters. So through visiting again and again, you've established relation and rapport with the beings that inhabit this area. And they greet you, and there's a familiarity. This is an energetic point by its nature that is in between many different life-giving places that are rich in prana, and you were naturally drawn for those reasons, and over time you've developed that rapport with these beings who are present there without really recognizing it. So as you have been called to give offering, that is a way of symbolic exchange with the beings that live there. And if you continue to give offering as a symbol of remembering that there's an exchange taking place and you are coming to a place that is inhabited with a rich consciousness, you will be able to deepen into the energy of that place and the inhabitants of that place.
Thank you.
Oh, well, thanks to you.
I have a question.
Yes.
First of all, thank you very much for sharing your light and love through Dante. I think that with these many questions that we hear actually reflects like tiny bits of pieces of each of us.
Yes.
Like I find so many answers just listening to what the questions of the people in the group are. That sort of thing. The question is that I been living a life where I've created a lot of balance around me.
Yes.
With organizations or people or a lot of balance. And being so much working towards the outside, I find it so difficult to actually feel what my passion is, because I'm more tuning into what the group or the organization or everybody else, not sort of how to balance the world around me. And of course, I understand there's meditation and nature and everything, but I find it so difficult actually to find my passion, to feel it.
Well, to some extent, you are passionate about being of service. So attending to the needs of others is one expression of your passion. Though, yes, you're correct in knowing that you are missing some aspects of your personal passion. And so you will find this most in the moments in which you find spaciousness, in which there's no obligation or pressure to do your work, but you are alone and with your time. What do? Open yourself to more possibilities. There are certain expressions and certain activities that you're not seeing as potential things that you could do with your time and energy. Connect with the highest feeling of joy you've ever experienced. What triggered that? What brought about that joy? And allow yourself to simply choose out of everything you could do what excites you the very most. And you will find at first that it might not be completely and totally ecstatic, and it doesn't need to be. It is the simple joys that leads to higher and higher joys. And if you allow yourself to be guided by your heart, you will find that bigger experiences come with time. So what are you passionate about that you might not be choosing just yet?
Many things actually. Sound,
Yes.
nature,
Yes.
movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is simple then to, when you have that free time, choose to go out in the nature and sing and dance rather than do what you might habitually do. And once you start breaking that habit and making a new choice, you'll find that that creates a momentum that leads to even bigger expansions.
Thank you.
Oh, and our thanks to you as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
I feel like I have a connection with Egypt,
Yes.
and there's some inspiration came to me with some energy exercise and breathing exercise in the ancient Egypt. So I do it quite often because I like it. It gives me something, and I don't analyze why I do it. I guess it's not a coincidence. It came to me. So I want to hear my connection in the past, and I feel that it's like to be connected energy through the exercise. I can be a channel, in some way, very neutral. Do exercise for yourself, but in the same way, it's like you send the energy out. It's like
Yes.
yes,
You have a soul connection with several Egyptian incarnations that were connected with a sort of healing arts lineage. It was a form of movement similar to Qigong or similar to yoga, but quite different, adjusted to that time and space. And not only did it involve moving the body, it was developing the healing power, recognizing that by opening the subtle channels of energy in the body, it would allow for healing energy to flow out through the hands, not only for hands-on healing, but for that healing energy to express into forms of art and creativity. So as you practice this method and fuse it with many of the techniques you already know, you can invite your guides to show you soul memories of how you use this art in the Egyptian incarnations to make yourself a more open vessel. The symbol of the Ankh is key into this memory, as the Ankh represents a closed, grounded circuit. The bottom of the Ankh is grounded to the earth, and the loop at the top keeps the energy continuously flowing through the body. The arms of the Ankh represent the ability to send and channel that healing energy out into the world.
yes. Do I have Egyptian guys like Ra or somebody else?
Well, beings like Ra are more universal archetypes, and they are the guides of humanity. So you can connect with these beings, and we would encourage you, yes, to connect with the ones that are most resonant with you. Though we would suggest for these purposes that you invite in the being of Sekhmet, as Sekhmet has a particular connection to deep healing.
Thank you for the answers.
Yes, our thanks to you as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
Could you please tell me more about what my connection with the Pleiadian is and who is my oversoul?
Your oversoul contains many, many souls. So the oversoul does not have an identity so much as it is the container that allows all of the various incarnations to be bridged. Your Pleiadian connections do connect as well with the idea of being a galactic ambassador. You bridge the worlds. You are also a counselor to many other galactic ambassadors. So those who were going and traveling to many other worlds to help bring knowledge and information to them would look up to you, and you would kind of compare the notes, so to speak, on what all of the different ambassadors were doing. So you are, in that sense, the ambassador's ambassador. You helped those who helped many. And in this lifetime, you may take on a similar role in coming to understand that you have the power to teach other people how to guide others back into the light and to recognize their ability to channel.
Okay, wow. Thank you very much.
Yes, our thanks to you as well. Anyone has not yet asked a question, we will open the space for that now.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes?
So I've been feeling some pain in my heart,
Yes?
and it scares me
All right.
Yeah.
Why does it scare you?
because I'm afraid of having a heart attack.
Oh no, you most certainly would know if it was a heart attack.
But it can be like pain that comes when I'm feeling emotional pain or
Yes.
nervousness.
Yes.
So it's like, what is it trying to tell me?
It is the physical manifestation of the emotional pain. So it is an invitation to be present with your heart and sink deeper into that emotional pain rather than run away from it. The fear is present because not only are you afraid of dis-ease or accidents, there's a fear of those emotions themselves. So recognize that your emotions hurt, but they cannot hurt you if you allow yourself to feel them. And that might mean learning how to create containers for yourself and learning how to receive containment from others. Because when you are in a safe space and you feel the presence of unconditional love, the pain that is present within you can move through you. Rather than getting stuck in you, you can allow that pain to release. But in order to release it, you actually have to feel it.
Yes. So what will happen if I am not feeling it? I mean, I'm really trying to, but could it like manifest in something bad?
Eventually,
Yeah.
it will take time.
Yeah.
You won't immediately get a heart attack, but if you lived without facing that pain for years and years and years, then maybe it would.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, well, thanks to you as well.
I also have another question.
Yes?
So I feel very drawn to the scarab beetle
Yes.
from Egypt.
Yes.
Is there any specific reason for that?
The scarab beetle represents the magnetic pull to source. The scarab beetle has a literal magnet in its head that pulls it forward. It is guided by this, and it uses it to help itself come out from within the earth when it needs to burrow. It uses it to move forward, and it represents an internal magnetic connection that you have within your brain to source itself. By connecting with the energy of the scarab beetle, you are restoring a deeper sense of your innate connection to source. All of you have this magnetic pull to return to source consciousness. It's simply that you have generated beliefs that go against that flow. So when this energy comes to you, it is a symbol of remembering the innate drive to remember.
Yeah, thank you. And another question is also, I'm also curious about if I'm connected to the Pleiadians and
You are.
what I've been doing in past lives or incarnations.
All right, one moment. You worked with sound in ancient Pleiadian times and also in some future Pleiadian incarnations. There are certain devices that are generated and powered by vibration and sound. And so there are certain healing technologies that incorporated crystals and voice. So if you have been guided to work more with sound, there's a connection there, and you might find that Pleiadian guides present themselves more to you when you tap into the power of your own voice.
Okay. Yeah. And what about creativity in other ways, like drawing and so on?
Yes, that is also a powerful outlet for you if that's what's exciting for you. And it doesn't necessarily connect you with Pleiadian guides, but there are guides that will support your creative pursuits with art. Visual art, that is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
I have also a question about pain. I can feel some burning between my shoulders, maybe 20 years. It's come and goes. And I really try to embrace, but I don't know what it is.
Shoulder pain generally represents feelings of obligation. It is the weight that you carry on your back. So, what do you believe that you must do that goes against your natural inclination towards what you want to do? When you encounter what that is and you release that weight, the pain itself will also release more.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. All right. We do say that will be all for today. We thank you for allowing this transmission to take place, because it has been a great gift to us, to all that is, and to yourselves to experience this. And we thank you for making it a reality. As we transition now to the sound healing section, we allow all of you, or invite all of you rather, to open up into a meditation to experience greater connection, if you would like.
Yes, thank you so much.
So now you may be seated, or you may lie down if you would like. Take deep breaths in and out, filling your body with breath, with energy, with light. Bring all of your focus to the center of your heart. And as you breathe in and out, feel your heart growing brighter and lighter with each breath. Allow this breath to circulate through your body, enlivening your cells. Picture great roots of light that grow from your heart all the way down into the earth. See these roots growing and weaving through the roots of many other plants. See the roots growing deeper and wrapping around crystals, minerals, and metals within the earth. Feel the roots growing deep, yes, weaving through the magma within the earth, the water within the earth, the gases within the earth. Feel the roots growing down to that molten core of the earth, finally reaching the solid crystal core of the planet that is vibrating and emanating a powerful energy up to all beings on the planet. Feel this vibration with your body. Imagine this vibration reverberating through all of your bones as you visualize this deep earth energy coming up through the soles of your feet and up through the base of your spine and filling your body gradually with deep earth energy. You may see this energy as a deep red like the core of the planet, or brown like its dirt, or black like the deep decomposed matter. Remembering that yes, within all of these elements of the earth are your ancient ancestors, alive in the soil, alive in all that you consume. Feel this deep earth energy rising all the way up to the top of your head. And gradually then open up your crown. Picture through your spine, from the top of your head to the base of your spine, is a brilliant thread of light. See that thread of light descend all the way down to the center of the earth and ascend all the way up to the center of this galaxy. With several breaths, imagine that thread expanding and expanding, surrounding your body in a crystal column of light. From that great galactic center, feel an immense wave of light descend. Start to follow it upwards. Picture yourself traveling out through the top of your head, and moving up past your moon and through your sun, feeling the luminous body of your sun, knowing it is conscious, awake, alive, present within you. Now see the sun connected through a vast network of light that travels out through the galaxy. Follow it and pass through many stars connected to your planet. Stars you may know or may not know. The names of Alcyon, Maya, Sirius, Arcturus. Call in your connections from these places. Feel your body activated in connection with them. Travel further and further out, going to the galactic center itself. Witness it as, yes, a supermassive black hole, surrounded by a brilliant cluster of stars. Pierce that black hole. Go to its center to find an infinitesimally small pinpoint of light. Allow it to open up into an endless, formless field of infinite light. This tunnel, connecting the center of the Earth to the center of the galaxy into this infinite, formless light, is the best expression of Source it can offer you. Meditating upon it allows you to bring in energies from all of these planes, whichever you choose. Picture then this energy coming from this galactic center and washing into you like a waterfall or a shower of light. Feel every cell in your body light up as this liquid crystal light enters. Allow it to go to the places that need the most healing, the most energy, the most support. Notice then here in this space, you've all opened up crystal columns of light. There's a vast network connecting each of your hearts, allowing guides to enter this space. Picture now that you are all seated in a brilliant white pyramid. This cosmic gate has a spiraling vortex above it, and through it, spirit after spirit steps through. Orbs of light float above you, inviting you to allow them in. Allow them into your being, allow them into your body, to support a deeper level of healing, to support an opening of your psychic gifts, to support a transmission of information from your own higher self and guides now. Allow your imagination to deepen. Allow your imagination to take over. Allow it to open you up into higher sensory perception. And simply receive. All of the support you need is right here and now.